Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Some 5,000 teachers to receive e-vouchers to buy laptops. Some 5,000 public school educators could commence receiving electronic e-vouchers to purchase laptop computers in December under the Laptop for Teachers program being developed by eLearning Jamaica Limited. Project Manager for the Own Your Own Device initiative at eLearning Jamaica, Seymour Roden, told reporters that the e-vouchers will enable teachers to visit an approved vendor location to purchase a laptop that meets the entity minimum specification. He said that teachers will receive the e-voucher via email or text messages. Roden informed that the list of teachers slated to benefit under the initiative will be provided by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. Once that is done, the data will be uploaded into the Own Your Own Device system and vouchers issued to the intended teachers, he noted. The Laptop for Teachers program is not yet alive. It is actually being developed with changes being made to the existing Own Your Own Device system to facilitate the distribution of vouchers to the teachers. We anticipate that the program will be coming on stream by a possible December of 2021. This is pending finalizing of the system and having all other support systems in place, he outlined. Speaking in St. Elizabeth recently, Minister of Education Favour Williams informed that teachers at the primary level will be the first to benefit under the Laptop for Teachers program. Former Prime Minister says Jamaica's failure to become a republic is a disappointment. Former Prime Minister Bruce Golding says Jamaica's failure to transform itself into a republic at this point is a disappointment. He is reacting to news that Barbados at midnight Tuesday morning formally cut ties with the British monarchy.
Of course I am disappointed. One of the things that I hope that this new initiative that the Prime Minister announced will do is to try and say, now, can we agree to move ahead with those matters on which a referendum is not necessary? We can do it with a two-thirds majority in Parliament. And then can we agree on a time frame for those matters, which would include the business of becoming a republic? Removing the Queen in Jamaica, unlike Barbados, requires a referendum. But I would hope that they would agree on a structure for moving forward. Let's do those things now that we can do with our Parliament alone, and then let us set a definitive time frame for going to the people to get the people's approval for those things that require the people's approval. It's not a matter of whether I think so. I mean, it's a matter that we decided on 26 years ago. We took a firm decision that Jamaica was to become a republic. We were to have a president, not a governor general. There was a disagreement on only one count. How was that president to be chosen? The Labour Party at the time argued that the president should be chosen by a two-thirds majority in both houses of Parliament, which would mean that the president would have to be chosen with the agreement of both the government and opposition. The opposition took a different position. The opposition at the time being the government at the time being the PNP. The government wanted it to be chosen by a two-thirds majority of both houses of Parliament sitting jointly. Eventually, we were able to persuade them to at least allow us to move ahead with the Charter of Rights, because that was so important to securing the fundamental rights of people, and we did that. But there are a whole range of other matters. Now, the Prime Minister has indicated that a review is to be undertaken next year. I don't know what his thinking is. That would necessarily have to look at the outstanding package of issues on which we had agreed.
Indicom's commissioner reveals lack of resources affects the body's ability to investigate cases. Commissioner of the Independent Commission of Investigations, Indicom, Hugh Fartner, says nearly 1,000 cases have been investigated by the Commission since the start of the year. However, Mr. Fartner says the Commission is experiencing a lack of resources to manage the amount brought in.
So far, I think we're close to 1,000. In terms of resources, let me not preempt my step, but in terms of my memorandum that accompanies my budget to Ministry of Finance, I have seen the need for more resources. We have a number of rulings where officers have been charged and put before the court, including where the complainants are police officers themselves against police officers. Yes, we have a number of matters that are before the court.
Pfizer vaccines now available for the general public. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says 50 doses of the Pfizer vaccine will be made available to the general public beginning on Wednesday. Tufton, speaking in Parliament, stated that the administration will be done through appointments. The decision represents a shift in the government's policy of administering the vaccine to children between ages 12 and 18 only. There was a subsequent extension to seniors 50 years and over. The health minister said the latest decision was taken by the cabinet to administer the Pfizer doses to the general population in light of the emergence of the Omicron variant of the virus and the possibility of a fourth wave. Only 18% of the population is fully vaccinated against COVID. Meanwhile, Tufton said 2 shipments of Pfizers are expected before year-end. He also said that there is a possibility of the Moderna vaccine being acquired. Minor among 3 arrested in Portmore following robbery. The police are reporting that 3 males, including a minor, were arrested in Portmore, St. Catherine, and a firearm seized. The police say sometime after 8 o'clock, cops on patrol pursued a suspected vehicle with 3 persons aboard. The vehicle was intercepted. The police say the car and the occupants were searched and a Glock pistol with 19 rounds of ammunition were seized. The police say an investigation revealed that the occupants had just committed a robbery along Municipal Boulevard where 2 persons were held up at gunpoint. The St. Catherine South Police are imploring residents to be aware of their surroundings, especially at night. Don't walk in dark or lonely areas alone and report any suspicious activity observed to the police. The police will be increasing the patrols and operational activities across the division as we approach this festive season, said Acting Division Commander Superintendent Hopton Nicholas. St. Ann man charged with murder. 50-year-old Oral Hamilton has been charged for the murder of 51-year-old Wayne Everton. Hamilton was charged on Saturday, November 27, after a question and answer session. His court date is yet to be set. The police say the charge stemmed from an incident on Hagley Park Road in St. Andrew on Wednesday, November 17. Reports from the Halfway Tree Police are that about 4:50 p.m., Hamilton had an altercation with Everton, and Hamilton reportedly used a knife to inflict wounds to Everton's upper body. Everton was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Hamilton was arrested by the police and subsequently charged. Reputed gangster convicted for brazen Westmoreland attack. A reputed gangster who opened gunfire at a Westmoreland resident before torching the house of the fleeing victim has been convicted of several criminal charges relating to the Brazen Daylight attack. Isaiah Perry, most popularly known as Cat or Matthew, was found guilty of illegal possession of firearm, arson, shooting with intent and assault in the Hanover Circuit Court on Monday. He is scheduled to be sentenced on December 14. The trial commenced in the Westmoreland Circuit Court on November 1 and was transferred to the Hanover Circuit Court for the verdict. A high-ranking police official has described Perry as a very influential member of the Kings Valley Gang, which is based in Westmoreland. Prosecutors led evidence during the trial that on the morning of April 14, 2019, there was an altercation between Perry and his victim in the Kings Valley community. The altercation stemmed from a domestic dispute between the victim and a relative of Perry. The alleged gangster, armed with a mini AK-47 rifle and a machete, went to the victim's home. He opened gunfire at the fleeing victim, set the house on fire, and assaulted another individual before leaving. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, ODPP, commended a witness for giving statements to the police and participating in the trial by giving cogent and credible evidence. The ODPP also praised detectives in Westmoreland Police Division for their hard work and diligence in probing the case, which was not without its challenges. 5 years without peace, Riverton Meadows residents plea for intervention in Western St. Andrew. Fear and frustration has become the cry of several residents in the Riverton Meadows community in St. Andrew. This is due to an upsurge in gang violence in the area for the last 5 years. The most recent murder reported was that of 64-year-old businessman Norman Dunkley, who was shot and killed on November 2nd. The residents lamented their growing unease with the community.
Residents say since 2015, murders and shootings have bedeviled the community almost on a daily basis. The residents wished to remain anonymous while speaking, but said the crime situation has gotten out of control. One resident says the recent increase in violence is different from what she's used to. She says she is discouraged that the community's children will not experience a safe and normal childhood.
It affects me because of people who they close to me, who I know when I grow up, who take care of me, are them. So it kind of stress me out. It just have one big fear in me. If you talk about it, it hurts. We can do right here, so shut a fire, we have to run. Well, baby, them not no childhood. We did have childhood, but them not have none. Them can't run up and down in them community no more.
Another resident says a meeting is needed with Member of Parliament for the area, Anthony Hilton, to address the situation. He says it's that bad. A simple hello could cost a life.
Right now, the community that need right now a community meeting from the MP, councillor, all the station have to involve in this. I swear, we need the community them, Kyle Bed, Shanty, the community combine, can call a meeting. You see, because right now everybody depend on who next. I just look at the community depend who's next. We don't know from 2015 till now. You check it out, the people now do nothing, them just kill because them say, when you hear this man, you and him a friend, you can't hear nobody now.
And another resident noted that while police personnel roam the empty streets from time to time, it's not enough.
Police not really do enough because Riverton City is a place like this, you know. You have so many different getaway. So if the police them really come in a Riverton, them don't really know the getaway place them. You understand me? I say, because even the police themselves afraid. Even the police themselves afraid because if them come and them park off here an hour, them gone. Park off here 20 minutes, them gone. So we want to know the reason why this war just continue like this from 2015 until now.
He says more police presence will help to alleviate the mounting fears of the residents.
We want the police them present themselves here. We don't want them know say them come and them leave. We want them have a dialogue with the person, walk. Reason. We don't want them like them come out 20 minutes them gone, half an hour them gone, 1 hour them gone. We want them walk, we want them pitch them tent. Like them normally going a garrison. Pitch a tent, make we see. Say yeah, you understand me? I say reason to the people and get to know the people and get to know who is who from who is who. You understand? So I just that one.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.